Greetings, everyone. Just wanted to give you a little update on my van situation. Those of you that have been following along know that I'm having my van, had my van in a shop, having the transmission replaced with a rebuilt transmission. Had it diagnosed 1 month ago. And the shop I had it diagnosed at had a big long delay, so I decided to take it to a dealership. They offered a better warranty, a 3-year warranty, 100,000 mile, transferable if I decided to sell the van. It's a little more expensive, but I was paying for the warranty and I was okay with that, and dropped it off. They said they'd have the transmission in 3 to 4 days, get it installed, be good to go. I was thinking like a week and a half at the most. So that week that it was supposed to come in, I made a mistake. I went on a backpacking trip with my girlfriend. We were going to be out of cell range, and we were driving up there. I thought, you know what? They're going to need to call and have something else approved, and I'm going to be out of cell range, and it's going to cause a delay. And sure enough, that's what happened. That following Friday, when I got back in cell range, they had been calling for 2 full days trying to get a hold of me and get these other parts approved. A few things: the rear transmission mount, the rubber mount was shot. They wanted to replace that. The yoke for the drive shaft that goes in the transmission was worn where it enters the transmission. I had seen that when I redid the U-joints a couple years ago. I should have replaced it myself. And then the front pressure plate was worn. So I approved all of that. The prices weren't too ridiculous, and they weren't going to charge me labor because they were going to have to reinstall everything anyway, whether it was a new part or the old part. So approved it and thought, okay, you know, that was a Friday, so I figured by that following Monday they'd have the parts and get it done that Monday. That would be about 2.5 weeks. And which is still a pretty long time. And I let a few days pass. Actually, I think the whole week pass. Being patient, I should have been bugging them every day. That's where I blew it. Didn't call me. They were ordering cables. They got everything installed, and it came down to the TV cable, which kind of regulates the shifting. It goes from the transmission to the throttle body on my van. It's a 91 Chevy G20 van. And that kind of regulates the shifting. Very important. If it's out of adjustment, you can burn up a brand new transmission real easy. So they're going to order a new cable. Got a wrong cable in, ordered another one, wrong cable, ordered another one, wrong cable. We're now into the 3rd week, going on 3.5 weeks, approaching a month. All along, never calling me to keep me updated. I had to call and check in with them. So last Friday, I called figuring, you know what, Friday they should have it done. Service guy tells me, nope, they got a 4th wrong cable. They got another one coming that afternoon. Never heard from them, so I called them the Saturday. They were open for a shorter time on Saturdays, but they are open. And the service guy I've been dealing with wasn't there. The transmission tech wasn't there. Talked to another service guy, and he said, yeah, it looks like everything's here. They should be able to tackle it Monday. We'll have them give you a call Monday morning. No call from them Monday morning, which is today, 2 days away from 1 full month. And so I call them, and the service guy tells me, yeah, we got another wrong cable, and oh, by the way, our transmission tech is on vacation this whole week, so it's going to be sitting a whole nother week. We'll call you back next Monday, bud. Thanks for, we'll call you back. No thanks for waiting. No thanks for your patience. Just sorry, it's going to be another week, bud. Click. So at that point, I'm ticked. Just completely unprofessional for a dealership. I would expect so much more. So the buddy where I'm staying here let me use his van to drive down there and talk to him in person, and just put the pressure on him. And that's what I did. I tried to be kind and calm and collective, but let them know that it's unacceptable. All along, this has been unacceptable. No communication whatsoever. So the supervisor of the service department is who I started talking with directly. I aced the service guy I've been dealing with. He was in the same room. I just didn't even look at him. I wanted to just deal directly with the supervisor. And the supervisor seemed to want to overcome the fact that their transmission tech wasn't there. He talked about bringing in another tech from another location, from another dealership. And then I said, well, what about this cable? You know, we just can't keep going day by day testing out different cables. You need to order them all possibilities at once, have them all come in, fit the right one, and then we'll be done. And he says, well, we've tried them all, and he's looked online at aftermarket ones. None of them have the right linkage or the right length. And I said, well, what's the solution here? What are we going to do? How are we going to make it so I can have my van back? You're holding my van you're holding my van for ransom at this point, or as hostage. So he says, well, I've got a solution. And finally, he asked me to come around the side of the desk. It was very frustrating. I couldn't communicate with him well. They got a 6-foot barrier. You got to wear a mask. It's very hard to hear each other. There's other people in the office talking. So he had me come around the side of the desk, pulls out a pad of paper and starts sketching out the situation with the cable. And it's close, but it just doesn't stretch. If the mount on the cable where it mounts to the transmission was a little closer, it would all work. You could compensate with the adjustment on the other end. It's a very important adjustment. If it's out of adjustment, you can burn up a brand new transmission. And I said, all right, do what you got to do. Fabricate a bracket, slap it on there, get it adjusted, and let's be done with this. So I left. That was this afternoon. I stopped by a second time a couple hours later just to confirm that he's on it. He says, yep, I'm running in the shop when I can, and we're going to get this done. And then I stopped by a third time just before they closed, just about a half hour ago. And he's sitting in the office with all the other service guys and one of the mechanics. They're just sitting back in their chairs, laughing, telling jokes. And I says, Mike, what's going on? What's the deal here? And he picks up the cable off the counter. He says, yeah, I've got to take it home. I'm going to work on it in my garage tonight. Kind of felt like he was trying to give me a guilt trip, like he was going to have to work, after hours at his house. And I'm like, whatever you need to do, man. We need to make this work today. Tomorrow we got to get this van on the road. And he says, all right, yeah, I feel like I can do it. He's a certified mechanic as well, so he's basically taking over. And I says, well, I'm going to be back in, tomorrow morning, and I hope that you've got this worked out. And, waiting another day, if it doesn't fit for him to go back home to his own garage, completely unprofessional. Taking, work from a dealership into his own garage. He's talking about, he had to get approval from his wife, so like, I don't care about your personal business. This is a dealership, So the reason why I'm sharing all this is not to just vent, although that's kind of what I'm doing. It's just to fill you guys in where I've been with all this and why it's taking so long. And I'm sure there'll be a bunch of comments. I know a lot of you will tell me all the mistakes I made and I should have done something else and gone to somebody else. And yeah, hindsight's 20/20. Sure, learned a lot from this. I had to do it over again. I probably would do something else. I was really just buying the warranty. That was what was important to me. Probably will sell the van in the next 3 years. The warranty's transferable. That was the big pull there. So anyway, I know a lot of you that watch my videos watch for information. You're going to be hitting the road soon. A lot of you have hit the road since you've been watching my videos. I've got feedback from a lot of you, and a lot of the information I've shared has been helpful, and that's why I'm sharing this. I know one of the biggest concerns for a lot of people getting on the road is having a breakdown. I used to get a lot of comments from people when I first started posting videos with people saying, yeah, you nomads and you van dwellers, you all are just one breakdown away from being homeless. And that's very possible if you're not prepared. And I know a lot of people I've met on the road, they're on Social Security, they're living paycheck to paycheck with nothing in savings. And that could prove to be a situation like mine, if you're living like that, a good way to find yourself homeless. Unless you got a credit card as emergency backup, but if you've got no emergency funds and are willing to get yourself into credit card debt, if you've got a credit card, a lot of people don't that are in that situation, you could find yourself homeless and without your vehicle and home. The options for me were to stay in a motel, or I have a backpack and tent set up, find a campground and stay at a campground nearby, use an Uber or try to hitch a ride to the closest campground and stay there, communicate with the shop till it's ready. I was in a very fortunate position where I was nearby a friend's place, nearby the dealership, and I'm forever grateful. He's been a huge help to me. Been able to get out and have some fun, and it's really helped with time passing. But if I didn't have this emergency fund, I'd be screwed. And all these seasonal jobs that I do, I've been working a lot more than I really need to just to bank that money and sock that money away for a situation just like this. I've been on the fence of just abandoning the van completely and finding a different van. But I feel like at this point, with the warranty, once it's done, that's what I decide to do. I'll actually be able to come out break even or come out a little bit ahead if I do sell the van and find something else. But I just really wanted to share this to keep you guys in the loop. Those of you that do follow along, I feel like I kind of abandoned the whole adventure and the whole timeline, but I've been very frustrated and very upset, and I just didn't want to come across as just complaining. So that's what's going on. I hope it was helpful. I hope that some of you that have been thinking about getting on the road really take into consideration the fact that you can have problems and you can be displaced from your home. On that note, I just want to end with anyone that's on the West Coast that's dealing with any of these wildfires, that have been displaced or have friends or family that have been going through it, dealing with this horrible air quality, or have been evacuated, or your house is burnt down. My heart goes out to you. We're all praying for rain. It's supposed to be coming soon. And yeah, just my heart goes out to you. I know this is a very tough time for a lot of people. It's been a tough year already, and this is just the topping it all off to make it just very miserable for a lot of people. So we're thinking about you. We're hoping rain comes soon. I love you all very much. I appreciate you checking in and listening to this update. Went on way longer than I intended, but I appreciate you checking in. I hope to see you soon with an update video of me picking the van up and having some good news. Thanks again. Take care. Peace.